Yo, what's good with y'all boys? It's your Snicker Bar Jordan, aka Vixen, back with yet another video, man. Today I have another guide for you. So I recently just started using Tohru Yeezy Supply, and it has absolutely been killing for me. But I noticed a lot of other people haven't been having as much success as me. So I thought I'd make a little guide and tell you guys some tips and tricks that you could be using in your setup. Personally, right now, I think Tohru is by far the best Yeezy Supply bot on the market for its price. First off, it's very easy to set up, and you can run tons of tasks with basically zero lag. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So we're over here in Tohru, but before we make our task, we're gonna set up our profiles. So over here in our profiles, I just made 3 test profiles just to show you guys what my profiles look like. So I know a lot of people have been hitting way less since the 3DS on Yeezy Supply has got implemented. So a lot of people are wondering what cards are best for Yeezy Supply. In my experience, privacy cards are by far the best things you could use. If you don't know what privacy cards are, it's a website, which is privacy.com. I have a link down in the description where you can go check it out. It's basically virtual credit cards that are linked to some type of payment source, such as your bank or your debit card. So whenever you spend money on that virtual credit card, it just pulls it from your payment source. Virtual credit cards isn't new or special. A lot of credit card companies do have this, but the one thing about privacy is they have no 3DS when it comes to Yeezy Supply. If you ever notice, whenever you're going for Yeezy Supply or you've seen someone else go for Yeezy Supply, it has this little white box that shows up, which is the 3D verification. When you're using a credit card through someone like Capital One or American Express, it sends a code to your phone or to your email, and then you have to input that code in order to check out. With privacy, it completely bypasses all of that. So you can literally start your task and walk away from your computer like I did on this one drop. About to go get some oatmeal. I'm gonna come back to about 5-6 years. Nothing too big. Also, another advantage to privacy cards is the billing information can be anything you want. So let's say your home address is zip code banned. You can send it to your friend's house who is in a different zip code, and the cards will still work like normal. Also, the billing name and the shipping name doesn't even have to match your actual name on the account. So if we look at my profiles, I have some random name right here. And then also my billing address is something random. Also for the profiles, one thing that has been working for me has been using random names and having the names match the email address. If you don't know what a catch-all is, it's basically a domain that sends to a primary source. So if you have this domain at example.com, you can send it to your main email and all your confirmations will go to that email. And also, I know a lot of people don't know whether to jig their address or keep it normal. I'm just gonna throw some examples of what my profiles look like on the screen. I try to do different variations just to see what works, and so far all of these have worked. Now let's talk about which proxies you should be using. I'm gonna just let you guys in on a little secret. Come closer, come closer. Almost all proxies are the same. Almost all proxies are the same. Almost all proxies are the same. Obviously, I'm sure most of you already knew that. You notice how when one proxy company goes down, another one also goes down? Yeah, they're basically using the same provider. So the provider that has been working for me is Portal Proxies. I'm really not just saying that because I'm sponsored by them. They genuinely have been the best proxies that I've used for Yeezy Supply. Also, if you have some type of ISPs or data center proxies that are unbanned on Yeezy Supply, definitely run those because those seem to be the most efficient. But there's a difference with proxies that can ping to Yeezy Supply and work on Yeezy Supply. If you look at this clip, you see that I'm constantly trying to add to cart. This is because my proxies weren't working on Yeezy Supply. They could pass the splash page, but they're not able to add to cart or check out. Also, any provider that's using smart proxies has been working for me as well. I don't want to give you guys any provider names because I have no idea what they're using, but if you do some research and ask around the community, you can find out. Yo, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure to like and subscribe. I'm giving you guys gems. Make sure to like and subscribe right now. Next, let's talk about Gmails. This is probably the most important part of Yeezy Supply botting. So when it comes to Gmails, you want to have some type of aged Gmail. So for my setup, I use some of my friends and family's emails and also some emails that I made from like 2015, 2014, and also my school email. And also when I test those Gmails, there's 0.9s, which is the highest score you could reach with your V3 score. If you don't have any old Gmails or any trusted Gmails that are 0.9, you can buy some Gmails. A provider I recommend is UBmails. I personally use them for a few drops, and they've been working flawlessly for me. I'll have the link in the description, so definitely check them out. And also, speaking of Gmails, we need to figure out if we want to use our captcha solver or AICD auto solve. In the past, I used the captcha solver, but most of the time I wasn't getting to the splash page. I maybe got through once, twice, but recently AICD has been by far 10 times better. I instantly went from not getting through the splash once to getting through 7-8 times on one copy. And as for AICD, I'm going to show you guys my setup and how I handle it during a drop. So this is how my setup is. I'm basically on this PC right here, and then I have my MacBook Pro on the side that's going to be running AICD. Honestly, this isn't really necessary. AICD can be very CPU and memory intensive, and with me recording, running bots, having Discord open, TeamViewer, all this other stuff, I don't want it to crash on me. And these are my AICD settings. You see I have everything at 0. If you have everything at 0, it basically just has AICD calculate what is best for your device. On this device, AICD determines that I can only run 8 auto solve tasks at a time, to where that is the best performance for me. Obviously, if you're on a higher end PC or a lower end PC, this is going to be different. Some people may be able to get to 20, maybe 10, maybe you can only run 3 at a time. If you don't want AICD to do this, you can go ahead and change the value yourself. So if I wanted to run 12 capture solvers instead of 8, I can just go ahead and type in 12. By the way, this device is a 2020 MacBook Pro with an M1 chip and 16 gigabytes of RAM. Also, like I said, my MacBook can only run 8 auto solve tasks at a time. Sometimes I hear people saying that they run 90 auto solve tasks at a time and they don't even get past the splash page. So when it comes to your auto solve tasks, make sure that you're using the most quality Gmails that you can for those tasks. Now that we got everything we need to set up our task, let's go ahead and set one up. So as usual, we go ahead and click the green plus at the bottom right. We go down to Yeezy, and then we select our profiles. So for the SKU, you're obviously going to put the SKU that you want to use for whatever product you're going after, and then your size range. And then for your checkout proxies, what I do is I put all my residential proxies into one big list, but I do separate my ISP proxies and my residential proxies from each other. So if my ISP proxies aren't able to add to cart, I can just go ahead and stop those tasks. There's no point in me running them. Then we're going to go ahead and click advanced captcha. Advanced captcha is basically saying that you can use one Gmail for all of your tasks. So if you're someone that likes to use the captcha solver, you can open up one of them and it'll handle all of your tasks at the same time. If you're using AICD, do not open your captcha solver, because AICD will take care of that for you. And then we'll just go ahead and click save. And that's basically it. The task is set up. It's that simple. Then if we go into settings, you want to make sure that you have your AICD set up properly. So in order to test this, I usually run a random supreme task, and then if your auto solver is able to solve that captcha, then you know that your auto solve is set up perfectly. Also, if your auto solve is set up perfectly, you can see at the very bottom where it says AICD auto solve connected, and on AICD you can see what bots are connected to your key. And the last thing we had to make sure is our 3D proxies are set up. So if you're someone that's not running on the server, just keep it as local. But if you are running on a server that's banned on Yeezy Supply, make sure that you select some type of proxies that aren't banned. And that's pretty much it, y'all. That's my full setup. And also, if you want to see what it looks like to go for a drop live, you can check out some of my live cops, especially the very last episode that I did with the Yeezy 450s, the Yeezy Mono Cinder, and also the Yeezy Slides. I appreciate you guys for sticking around. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and also comment down below how many pairs you hit after watching this video. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.